it's just not, it's not logical. Like, it's completely illogical to just leave things the way that they are. If you don't care at all about people on the street, if you care nothing about them, if you're one of the people who just thinks that we should ship them away, jail them, whatever, it's over $95,000 to keep someone in jail for a year. So you're telling me that you'd rather do that than pay $36,000 a year for that person to, you know, be supported and actually have the opportunity to have services connected to them, to actually rebuild their life, which are the things that we're seeing happening? Tell me how that makes sense from a strictly accounting perspective. It just doesn't. It just. I absolutely never saw myself getting into politics in any way, shape, or form. When I decided to run for mayor, I put my papers in on the very last day because I was just undecided about whether or not that's where I wanted to spend, you know, the next 4 years of my time and my life. When I first got elected to council, I was having this discussion with someone about youth council. They wanted to bring a group of young people who were considered like from an alternative system, right? They weren't sure that this group of youth were, you know, people who would become youth council. They weren't that type of person. And it was one of those moments when I realized, well, I'm not that type of person. You know, it reminds me that it's important that all types of people do this work. And I'm one of those people. It makes me feel like the change at like a deeper level can happen, I think. Because when I grew up, there was not people like me in these places. They were few and far between. We're at this like time when so much has to change, but we're trying to change things and systems that they're kind of stuck in the ways that they've done things. It makes it hard to move forward. And so after experiencing that, I just was really wanting to see if there was a way to do things differently. This last term as mayor, or my last term as mayor, was one of the most incredible experiences I've had. One of the things that our council really heard everywhere was around homelessness and opioid use and how it was impacting people in the community. And so we brought together a group of people to look at, you know, what would it look like in our community if we were to be able to house every single person and have them taken care of. And at that time there was about 130 maybe people who were unhoused. And ultimately where it led to was something we call the village site. Right now, 7 months in, 76% of the people on that site are in some kind of pre-employment or employment process. And that's incredible. And there's, you know, one woman, she's not on that site, she's in the Paddle Road site, but she said that she's working now and she has been clean for 8 months for the first time in 10 years. And she'd lived on the streets for 10 years, here, right here. But there's still people who are still on the streets because we didn't capture everyone. There wasn't enough funding and support to do that. You know, we're all a part of the same village, and that taking care of the people who have the least makes us all stronger. In every act of kindness that people do silently, it changes someone's life. And I'm going to be proud of this, proud of what we managed to achieve together, because it really demonstrates when you pull people together, you can actually solve the biggest problems. And this term, I hope to continue that and to actually strengthen it and to really not go back to how things were before. People from different organizations were able to just sit down and go, let's do this. Let's try this and let's stand united, you know, in the fact that this is important and that we're willing to be courageous enough to try it. It seems to have ignited something different in all of us.